afternoon, listener at home. We are back again on the block. This is Betas FM 102.3, and we are still on the Flipside, your political program that comes your way every Wednesday at 12:15 p.m. I have with me in the studio this afternoon Adebisi Ogunjimi, now almost becoming my regular guest. You're welcome to the program.
So when will I become regular? If I'm almost so good to be back here. Good afternoon.
And Jide Omojolomoloju, who is also a permanent furniture in this arena.
In the city room. Good afternoon, listeners at home. It's a pleasure to be here with you for your midweek tonic.
Dele Fanimo is still my name. I'm the uncle of this program. When I'm available and when I'm not available, my friend is always there to stand in for me. And today we are looking at various issues ranging from the aftermath of the fuel subsidy. We're also looking at the rage against fuel subsidy by the organized labor, though they have suspended their strike. They never call off strike, but they suspend. And still, the battle is still raging in the courts over the last election, even after the swearing in. So these are some of the things we'll be looking at this afternoon. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll go full blast into the gist.
Okay, well, Facebook. Are you on Facebook? I'm not sharing. Are we doing friends? I think I'm not sharing.
Yeah, welcome back. BC. Fuel subsidy. There was a video trending this morning showing people on bikes in Maiduguri and telling us that this is the new way to go, at least to avoid the pangs of the new fuel subsidy removal. What's your take on this?
I think that's just
a comic part of it.
Exactly. It's just on the brighter side, because how many people can a bicycle take per time? Most of us that use cars, you are not using it alone. As a family man or woman, you are carrying your whole family. You are taking your kids to school. You're taking your wife to the market, or your wife is taking herself to the market and she's going to pick the kids. So it's not, there's nothing the bicycle can do. But I think people can still make use of a bicycle if you are just by yourself and you are going to work. I think it's just a very, very minute way of a minute solution that people have just tried to find just to cushion the effect. You know, if you are on a bicycle, there is no need for fuel. You don't have issues with policemen. But don't be surprised that very soon we might even have police stopping bicycles.
Asking for the receipt.
And asking, exactly. So that cannot even be counted as an advantage yet. But at least you are not going to be thinking of fuel. But then, how many people can you take on a bicycle per time? Okay, are you going to have everyone on the road with bicycles? Then there will be commotion. If I take my bicycle, my kids take their bicycles, my husband takes his bicycle, your whole family take the bicycle. So what are we going to have on the road? Exactly, we are going to be back where we are coming from, that overpopulation on the roads, and there will be issues. So I don't think that's a solution, really.
Well, let's leave the comical side of it. How much cost is this really taking out of you?
Well, it's taking a lot.
As a personal,
it's taking a lot. No, what are we talking about? If you are buying 10 liters of fuel now, that's 5,000. Why would you?
More than that in some
In some locations, some cars would get a full tank at 5,000. You understand?
Then.
Some cars then, but now you just, sometimes I just like, okay, let me just buy 2,000 into the car and just top it up. You understand? But now that's just 4 liters. 2,000 is just 4 liters. So what are you topping with 4 liters? So it's really taking a lot from everyone. Like I always say, even the rich people are complaining. Not to now talk of average Nigerians like us. So it's not been easy. But I just believe, personally, honestly, I just believe that things will stabilize soon. How it's going to happen, I do not know. But I just have a feeling that.
And that urge.
Yes, I just believe that something is going to give. Is it that we grow to meet it, or it comes down?
Jide, what's your personal experience? You came in from Lagos this morning.
Well, it's not easy. Transportation fares are skyrocketed, more than doubled, and I think what is going to happen, Dele, apart from the bicycle riding scenario and all of that, people are now trying to adjust. I came in with a guy from Lagos. He lives in Ibadan here. He went for business. He said what he's going to do is, number one, that he pays 35,000 for bus for his children going to school, and now they are saying 200,000. So he said no problem. At the end of the session, he will withdraw his children to the nearest school to where he lives. That is not as if all the schools in his area are bad. He will find one, and where they are short, he will get a teacher. He cannot pay 200,000 naira a month to even if he's taking 2-3 teachers for his children. So that is one of the things. And then again, he said he owns his own business. He has told his workers, come to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He's an event planner, so he told unless they have event for Friday, then come on Thursday. That will also help to, just like Kwara State Governor did, he has reduced the working distance to 3 days in a week, and asked each heads of each ministry to work it out. That means it's not everybody that will come on Monday. It's not those people that even come on Monday may not come on Wednesday. Kind of alternating, sort of. So, like DBC said, something will, but I know that what we are experiencing presently is temporary. Like I always tell people, what we are having now is just like when GSM first came. If you make a call of 1 second, it takes 1 minute. And when people are shouting, MTN said it will take it 10 years to go to per second billing. Then Glo got a license, and Glo kicked off with per second billing. In fact, when they kick off with per second billing, they will sell you a SIM for 2,000 naira, and you will meet 1,999 naira credit in that SIM. And that same week, Glo that said it will take it 10 years, quickly. MTN that said it will take it 10 years, quickly migrated to per second billing. I think when GSM came, SIM card cost 30,000 naira. Today,
some people bought for 50,000.
Today, they will beg you to come and take it and register. And they will even tell you when you recharge 100 naira, you will get 600 naira. When you recharge 500 naira, you will get 3,000 naira. Eventually, this fuel issue will come to that. Because there will be what we call free market. I'm a political scientist. I'm not an economist or a business-oriented person. But I know that where the free market would crash prices. Because if I import fuel, and I know that if I sell my own at 250 naira per liter, I've made marginal gain. I will not keep it for months. Because the earlier I dispose it, the better for me. The more turnover I'll be able to make. So instead of waiting for people that will be selling 400, 500, I will quickly sell my own at 250 since I've made marginal profit and turn it over again. So if I can turn it over like 2-3 times in a month, that is money. And people would prefer to buy from where it is cheaper. So I foresee all of this happening. Yes, it's a temporary setback kind of thing, a temporary punishment in quotes. But I honestly believe that removing subsidy is the best way to go. Somebody was while in the vehicle. Somebody was saying, if one man can build a refinery in 6 years, what is stopping government from? And I told him, look, this man you are talking about he didn't have the kind of baggage that government is carrying. Government would have to make provision for education, for health, for create enabling environment for job, foreign relations, economy, and all of that. So if government now want to use its meager resources to build a refinery, just like Dangote did, what happens to the other sectors of the economy? And for a long time, we all know that the government have no business in business. Leave business to the business people. The purpose of government first, welfare of the people, security of life and property.
Well, having said this, DBC, to what extent? Because everywhere you go, there is this confidence in this new government. To what extent can you vouch for this new government compared to the outgone government? That everything they want to do, you have this suspicion that they may not pull through. But suddenly, somebody somewhere is saying, no, let's give them a chance. Let's give them a chance. Is it something that we don't really see, that you guys are seeing?
Well, it's not like vouching for this administration. It's more of hoping. Because I'm a Nigerian, I want to enjoy my country. Like I always tell my husband, I want to enjoy this country. So it is my expectation.
You are a Nigerian in the last 8 years.
Yes. Then we saw how it went down. We saw how the last 8 years were for Nigerians. We were here together. We saw what happened. So it wasn't
this man
about
is also
us.
From the same party.
Yes, it wasn't about us vouching for the past administration. It was not about us expecting. It was what happened. We all saw it. We expected that it would be better. Don't forget, former President Olusegun Obasanjo assured us that if it is economy, you may not expect much from this man coming. But security, forget about it. You are going to have it 101%. But where did it get us? So it's not about vouching or expecting, but it is about what we have, what we had in the past administration. But now, you say people are expectant. They are optimistic. That is being patriotic. I want to believe. I'm not a politician. I'm not an APC chieftain. I'm not there. So I don't know what they have planned out. But I am talking as a Nigerian, and that is what I would expect other Nigerians to do. Let us be expectant. Let us be hopeful. Let us be optimistic that this administration, just like Baba Adeboye said, he said he will get it right with the help of God. You understand? So that's what I am premising my expectation on, that God should help him to get it right. Because if he doesn't get it right, we are doomed. That's another, how many years we are talking about? 4 years to say the least. So if he is lucky enough, he's going to come for the second term and he's going to do another 4 years. That's like 8 years, another 8 years of our lives. For crying out loud, we don't have any choice but to just be hopeful, to be prayerful, to be expectant, and to be optimistic that this administration, and let's just look at what he has been doing. In the past few days, he had met with Labour, he had met with JSU, he had met with TUC. He's meeting. I think he is starting on a very good foot. This administration is starting well. Renu Omokri said it also. He said that much. This administration had been available, accessible to Nigerians in the last 1 week more than the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari was in his 8 years of administration. You understand? So I think we have something to look out for. We are not vouching for this administration. We are not a part of it. We are Nigerians, but there's something. There is light. There is a green light that we are looking. There is a beacon of hope that we are holding on to. That it looks like. And if you look at this man's antecedent, he was governor, he was senator, and when he was governor, Dangote said he had made Lagos a place that everyone wants to come to. If he becomes president, he will make Nigeria a place everyone wants to come to. And that is what I want to hold on to. That is what I want to expect. That is what I want to work with. That let's see what this man can do. And it really looks like he wants to do. Look at what he said about NNPC. That they should stop swapping crude oil. What that means, I don't understand. How it's going to pan out, I do not have a good understanding of that. But I believe that is going to be something very positive. We should stop swapping with crude. We should pay in cash. Maybe that will allow for more transparency and more accountability. Look at the kind of fraud that we are talking about in NNPC now, when it was declaring assets. Now, the reps are looking for 2 trillion naira. They said there is a 2 trillion naira unaccounted for. Look at what we had with our Nigerian air. Did you hear that? That we had to go and we had to go and charter. We had to go and charter a plane to come and fly into Nigeria.
A 12-year-old plane
owned
by a foreign airline.
We chartered it. We rebranded it.
No,
they wrote our name.
They wrote our name and
they wrote our name on it.
6 hours. It went back to
where it flew into our space for us to see that Nigeria Air, it has debuted. Now it went back. And the MD had that temerity.
Revelations are coming out.
Yes, the MD, Olumide, he had the he stood in front of the house and said that, and said they went to charter it. And what do we expect? If you charter something, it's available for charter. If you charter it, will go back.
Close to the owner.
What are we talking about? Honestly, I believe that this man, at the helm of affairs, he knows a lot. He's been a part of this. You can even say he's been a part of the cabal. Except he does not want to do it. I am very, very certain that he knows what to do. He knows where to touch. He knows what strings to pull. And I believe he's going to start doing it.
You see, maybe I should just briefly explain the crude swap. It's simply saying you can take as much water from my pond as you like, then give me refined and
drinkable
drinkable water. So the man has the latitude, and that's why till today, up till this moment, there has never been a clear-cut indices showing how much crude is extracted from Nigeria.
They can't be.
That's one. The only person that was getting close to it was Kukoloko then, as GMD NNPC. There is a device, there's a technological device that if you mount it in Nigeria, the whole Gulf of Guinea, if you extract a barrel, it will show. But midway to it, the one was sacked and it never pulled through. So, like you rightly said, the new government, exemplified by Ashwani Bola Ahmed Tinubu, understands all the nuances. And did you notice in the last 1 week the respite in the economy of Nigeria?
Yeah, I did, Dele.
If you watch the stock market, there has not been any trace of bearish market in the last 1 week.
Yes.
It has always been bullish.
Yes.
And what that translates to in economics is that investors are coming back with their funds. Because it's no longer the portfolio investors that will just you and I, or just like you and I, that will say, I have lose 100,000. I want to go and buy shares in the stock. These are people that are bringing in billions into the stock market. And you can see, and this is one of the barometers with which you gauge the economy of a country. So, Jide, with all this, I want you to just say, is it right to say that Davis's postulation is not misplaced?
I agree with DBC totally. It is not that we are supporting the government, but it is just that we are hopeful as Nigerians.
But there's no reason. And if you believe in the government,
why are we hopeful? Wait, why are we hopeful? Because, like you said, a day after PBAT's swearing in, the stock market gained what he has not gained in the last 6 years.
And since then, there have been
And since then, it is upward swing. It has not come down. It has not gone back to what it used to be.
The records are there.
The records are there for us to see. Then, like she said, when you look at the antecedents of PBAT, he has done it before. And you see, despite all the noises, he said it, I think it was a meeting with NESG before the election. He said, you can protest as much as you want to, I will remove subsidy. People clapped. For him to even have that audacity from day one to say subsidy is gone, and it is gone. I used to tell people, we are going to feel the pang of the removal of subsidy. And in actual fact, do you know that 3-4 days after the removal of subsidy in Nigeria, a litre of fuel that sells for 350 in Cotonou jumped to 850. And he told them then, he said, how can I be paying subsidy for Cameroon, for Ivory Coast, for Republic of Benin, for Niger, for Mali? He will remove it, and he has done it. And when you look at the price of fuel in our neighboring countries, I was watching a documentary. A guy in Cameroon said he has been in the business of selling black market fuel for the last 8 years. He said he sells not less than 1,200 liters every day. And that is brought in from Nigeria, which the Nigerian government pay subsidy on, or subsidized. But instead of selling it to us so that we can enjoy the subsidy, it was smuggled outside of the country and sold. Because over there, what they will sell it for is ×2 or ×3 of what the official price is in Nigeria. So I agree with that totally, and I foresee, you see, it's just like when you want to remove an aching teeth. At the stage of removal, if the doctor did not give you an analgesic or whatever it is called, if they just pull it out, the pain will be like nothing out of this world. But after it has been removed, after some time, you yourself will feel relieved. It happened to me last year. You are aware? I was crying like a baby. Crying like I couldn't sleep. To sit down is problem. To stand up is problem. To lie down is problem. Not until that, the day the tooth was removed, it was like somebody who was inside an oven, and they brought him and put him in an air-conditioned room that is as cold as whatever you. So I felt relieved. We are going to have some hiccups here and there, but at the end of the day, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And for me, I believe in this government that that renewed hope that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed promised us is just around the corner.
We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll be talking about the botched TUC and NLC strike. The trouble will be it's a trouble. People are about to advance and service chips. They're not mama going for my business.
Baba is my ID.
She is going to is a poor my is IG already.
But you go from a very reliable source.
She must offer money. She may have money or let at a money.
But you go from a very reliable source.
Although I beg money in the airport, lost out of Tinubu. But you just talk about going to airport, father.
Baba, he will speakership.
Yeah. Of course. It's back there.
Àwọn olùsílẹ̀ àwọn fẹ́ indigene.
So the enigma ni gbogbo yẹn sẹ.
Mo sọ pé àfi tí Tinubu bá fẹ́ kó padà wá. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé kò ní fẹ́ gbé Táyọ̀ kúrò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Táyọ̀ will return as chief of staff. He is eye and ear and everything, of course, ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì.
Yeah, welcome back. So much trouble in the world, but at this time, We don't even expect war in Nigeria. And we're not likely to get war in Nigeria.
We speak peace.
We speak peace. Now, the labor unions, the trade centers, TUC, Trade Union Congress, and Nigerian Labour Congress, they were
spoiling for war.
Up in arms against the government over the removal of subsidy. And suddenly, on the eve of when the strike should start, ordinarily the strike should have started this morning at 12 a.m. We called off the strike. What can you assert to why they had to call off the strike at the last minute?
I knew that strike was not going to see the light of the day. Even when
this
it was...
optimism.
No. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I just knew that it wasn't going to happen. Why it will not happen, I might not be able to say specifically, but you can't. You are
just being prophetic. You are sounding prophetic.
I can tell you why
we just don't want to start asserting the guess that there was settlement. No, but at least there was the meeting and there was the agreement. I think 7-point agreement with the federal government. But when they were announcing and planning, I just knew it wasn't going to happen because already we had people are saying that the Southwest NLC was not going to join.
And the Northern NLC
the Northern NLC came out. They said they were not going to join. So what were they left with? So I think Nigerians are tired of the shenanigans of the NLC. Honestly, it's like they instigate the environment to get attention. I think they want attention to themselves. They want dialogue. They want negotiations with themselves, for themselves. So they just throw the kites, they just fly it. We are going on strike. They just come with all the muzzles. We are going on strike. The mother of all strikes, the grandfather of all strikes is going to down. Just for the federal government to call them, which was what happened. There was the calling, there was the meeting. Then they said that there was agreement, 7-point agreement made with the federal government. They are definitely still going to be on the promissory level. It's going to be promises. And like Maestro said yesterday or Monday, he said they are going to have to wait for this administration to constitute the cabinet. Because these are the people they are going to be relating with directly. They are going to have to relate with the Minister of Labour eventually. So, and that one is expected to now begin to advise the president on how to treat this issue of labor. But I don't see the subsidy going back because that is what Labour is asking for. Of course, TUC is asking for an increment in minimum wage to 200,000 naira. I still don't see that solving the problem on ground. If you are earning 200,000 naira and you are still buying everything at these prices that they are, go and check the markets right now. Food prices, foodstuff, the prices have skyrocketed. Everything they will tell you is subsidy. What is your subsidy? Look at the transport we talked about, from 35,000 naira to 200,000 naira. Someone was telling me also on Monday that the school had already sent him a text message of a notice that they have increased the school fees. The bus. So it will definitely increase. It's going to cascade to all aspects of our lives because it is fair. They said we should board. There will be tube. There will be long buses. Will the long buses also go and bring our food from the farms? It won't happen. So we just have to brace for it and let it happen. See, NLC, I just knew they were not going to go on this strike. We saw what NLC during the campaign now. We saw where NLC tilted. And honestly, I would not blame anyone for tilting anywhere. NLC wanted what was good for its members. So it felt Labour Party would be good for its members because NLC, the Labour Party is an offshoot. It's supposed to be an offshoot of the NLC. But I don't think it's still the same. I would want you to really say something about it. If it's still the same, if it's still an offshoot, if it's still a political party that workers should support totally, based on the kind of people, their candidates that they fielded during these elections. Don't forget what Mimiko did in that same party. After it was governor with that party, he switched. So it was just a vehicle. It was just a vehicle for him. He thought, okay, the workers will support him because they wanted someone that would be sympathetic
To their cause.
To their cause and to their plight. So he got it on a platter of gold. They gave him all the support that he needed at the time. What did he do after that? He didn't tell them, and he just went away from there. So they have to, I think Labour Party, NLC now, not Labour Party, NLC should just sit down, have a rethink. Honestly, I don't think it has lost its bite. NLC. When I was growing up, you hear strike like this, you hear planned strike. Children, we are going to just be rejoicing that school will close for at least for no matter what, 1 week we will close down. But for them to start negotiating with government and all that, but for the 1 week we are going to be at home. But now they are threatening in expectation to be called. They are saying the announcement, expecting that they will be called and they will be met with and they will be promised. If that is all that happened, because I wasn't there, I don't know what went down. So I don't want to. I don't want to. Yes, I don't want to indict myself. So I don't know what went down, but there was a meeting, and Labour came out and said they have shelved. They have not cancelled it though. They have shelved that.
They only suspended.
Yes, because no, it has not started, so they did not suspend. They shelved it. They shelved.
They only suspend what you have started.
Yes, so it's English. They shelved it, so it's still somewhere. They are still planning
It's in the
but
cooler.
they want to meet on June 19. So after June 19, they will now know if they are going to now begin at the strike action or they will just call it off totally.
You see, incidentally, if anybody should speak about Labour, I think I am an authority.
Yeah, an authority. I know that one. But Dele, before you speak about Labour.
No, just wait. I covered Labour for 8 good years in the Guardian. I was the editor of the Labour page for 8 good years. So I know the evolution of Labour and how they got into this sorry pass. Just like you said, Labour couldn't muzzle anybody in this country
enough support for any strike
to go
again
with them when they want to go on strike, because the emergence of the leadership of the unions are veritable threat to the organized labor. And the antecedents of the leadership of the unions is not strong enough to give the average Nigerian worker the courage
and
to
the
go
confidence.
with them. You understand? But we may not go into the details of all that.
We won't.
But Jide,
Yeah.
why would Labour be hasty in forcing a new government that had not really consolidated itself? No, who are the people negotiating with Labour? On what premise? What is their portfolio? Are they ministers? Are they permanent secretaries? Are they special advisors? And whatever they agreed with these people, is it binding on the government or even Nigerians?
You see, the BBC said it all. But as far as I was concerned, when I heard Labour wanted to go on strike, I said there will be no strike. And that it shelved the strike is a face-saving mechanism, because before they shelved the strike, the court had declared it illegal. That same was it Monday or yesterday? And meanwhile, remember that it was on Monday that the court affirmed the no work, no pay policy of the federal government. So that will first of all kick against them, because the money you are earning is not enough. Then somebody is asking you to go on strike, and you go on strike simply means that for the period of the strike, you are not making any money. Money will not come, and you'll be spending money every day. So I knew that even before the Southwest Zone Labour and the Northern Labour said they are not going to be part of, I knew that there was not going to be any strike. And the question people keep asking is, when Emefiele was putting Nigerians through harrowing experience, where was Labour? What role did they play? I was watching a video yesterday or the day before yesterday that showed that inside Labour House is the National Secretariat of the Labour Party. And one guy came on, he was talking to Shehu Okimbalo. He said it is Labour Party that is going on strike, not Nigerians. So I knew there was not going to be any strike. And I think Labour needs to now borrow its self-sense using the popular parlance. It needs to now borrow its self-sense.
Let me give you this information. Maybe that will help you. The current president of NLC is a Southeasterner. The current general secretary of NLC is also from the Southeast.
Of course, even the affiliated unions, all the letters they were writing out asking them to mobilize for the strike, the electricity workers, the juice workers, and all of them, the letters were signed by Southeasterners. At least I saw about 9 letters asking them to mobilize for the strike, and the letters were signed by Southeasterners. Now, Labour now needs to go back to the drawing board. In the days of Adam Socio-politics, when Labour say they want to go on strike, even government shivers. But now, when Labour say we are going on strike, government will just be laughing. Let them continue to make their noise. And Nigerians are even tired. You know why? There are millions of Nigerians who cannot feed if they don't go out of the house in a day. They cannot eat any meal in a day if they remain in the house. And you ask that person to stay at home? No. And I can also tell you, another category of people that will not go out are commercial drivers. Because those ones, they spend daily money. So the money they made yesterday, they have spent. And you are now asking them not to go out today to make another money. How do you want them to live their life? So Labour need to go back to the drawing board and then purge itself of partisanship. Because this same Ajero was sitting beside Peter Obi when he said from day one he's going to remove subsidy, and they all clapped. This same Labour, are their members not working at our refineries that have refused to work after 11 trillion naira expenditure? This same Labour, are their members not part of people that share the subsidy and do mago with the payment of the subsidy? I was reading a document sometimes ago talking about how the subsidy is shared. 10% go to this category of people, 40% go to this category of people, 11% go to this category of people, 15% go to this category of people. And I said, wow. Labour didn't have people in those places. In NPA, they don't have workers who are members of Labour Party. Even in the refineries, I'm sure workers in refineries will either belong to Nupeng or Pengasan.
Yeah.
And is Nupeng and Pengasan not affiliated to NLC, the trade centers? And what role have they played in ensuring that the refineries work so that we can produce what we consume locally? They keep telling us we consume 60 million liters of petrol every day. That is rubbish. I can say it offhand that what we consume, the petrol we consume in this country with generator and everything, is not up to 40 million liters. And government will be paying subsidy on 60 million liters every day. Sometimes government pay as much as 305 naira, 205 naira per liter as subsidy, so that people can get it at cheaper rate. And people are collecting this money, smiling to the banks, and they don't even make the products available to the people that government are paying subsidy for. So subsidy is gone. It's gone forever, and I'm happy about that. So if Labour want to be relevant in the present political dispensation going forward, they need to go back to the drawing board, purge themselves for partisanship. Labour Party, yes, it might be a Labour related political party.
How related
are they? Somebody was telling me that the constitution of Labour Party says that at the national level, deputy national chairman of Labour Party must be it must be a member of the executive council of the Labour Party.
Of the Labour Union.
Of the Labour Party.
The NLC.
The deputy national chairman of the NLC must be an executive in the Labour Party.
Yes, that's what we are saying the same thing.
At the state level, I think it's the deputy chairman at the state level too that must be part of the executive of the Labour Party. But is that happening? It is not happening. So they cannot just come and bamboozle us. They cannot come and use what they think they want or what they think they like. And like you said, if Ajero from the southeast is a Peter Obi campaigner, a pro Peter Obi person, and he said he's leading a strike action against the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC, then we can read between the lines. We are not all fools. So in fact, I knew that strike was dead on arrival.
Now we have already seen everything. Now we are going into the new cabinet. Already there is SGF.
Yeah, the SGF has been picked.
Already there is Chief of Staff.
Yes,
Deputy Chief of Staff, which also showed the diversity in the country.
Yeah.
Akume is from
North
Central.
The deputy
is
from Southwest. The deputy Chief of Staff is from Northeast.
Now, is that a reflection of what we expect in the new cabinet that would unfold after June 14th?
Definitely. It's going to be what we should expect. We discussed the government of competence here on this program too, as against
government of national unity.
That's it. So, and we also said that if Asiwaju is going to look for competence, we are certain that he's going to get competence across the country. So it will not still stop him from balancing this quota that we always work towards.
Especially the one that the constitution requires.
Exactly. So I believe he's going to get it. We are going to expect that, just like we have seen in the Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, and the SGF.
Now, Jide, do you see a robust administration arising from this?
Yeah, I do. I do see a robust administration arising from what we have seen so far. The constitution says that every state must have a minister. I foresee that let each state put their best forward. And the Asiwaju that we all know his antecedents is one that has eye for talent. If a state governor give him a nominee that he knows will not deliver on his renewed hope mantra, he will look for somebody else and pick. Yes, there will be need to balance the political aspect of the appointments, but by and large, Asiwaju will give us a cabinet of competent people that will help push his renewed hope mantra to a logical conclusion. I read somewhere somebody was saying by now he should have sent his nominees to the National Assembly.
Which National Assembly?
And I said, which National Assembly?
That is closing shop
next day. The National Assembly that is closing shop tomorrow. Closing shop tomorrow. On Tuesday, the new National Assembly will be inaugurated. So which National Assembly will he send the nominees to? And somebody said, all his appointments, no Southeast. I said, what are you talking about? What exactly are you driving at?
You know one curious thing that still beats my imagination? If at this time, somebody is pushing for Kalu
to become Senate president.
Somebody in his own senatorial district got over 30,000
got over 30,000 votes. And in the entire state, your presidential candidate couldn't get up to
and now you now want that seat,
and you want to become Senate president. Where is it done?
Politicians are calling it.
Where is it done? Total votes that Asiwaju got in the entire 5 states of the Southeast was 27,000.
Our politicians
and
Akpabio gave him 160,000 in Akwa Ibom alone.
That's what I'm saying.
Even Akpabio's fate remains uncertain as at this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. But then, even if Akpabio is not getting it, it's not Kalu.
Yeah, it's
part of my program.
Always a pleasure.
And Jide,
it's always a pleasure to be here. I don't play that anything makes me wish this.
Bye for now.
All right, thank you. Thank you for watching. Bye.